Hey guys, Metal here. Today I wanted to show you how to defend Clubhouse. So the first site I want to cover is the basement site for bomb. So the first thing you should obviously do is spend 2 reinforcements reinforcing out here. You should get all 3 drop downs, so that is the one up in stockroom, which is this one. That's the room across from the garage. The one up in kitchen here. And then the one up in the bar, which is here. So you want to get those reinforced. So now we're at 5 reinforcements used out of a total of 10 on the team. You're going to want to reinforce this whole wall, use up 3, and then spend your last 2 at that wall. Or possibly this wall, just depending on what your team prefers. I like to leave this one open because it's very easy for your B players to shoot into blue and back off to B if they need to. Now this is one of the few sites in the game that castle can be kind of useful. I would recommend if you do bring castle that you reinforce this doorway and this doorway to prevent, to kind of funnel. If they do drop down, they'll have to go that way unless they want to break that, or if they break out, if thermite blows up that wall out there, they'll still have to deal with the castle barricade. They'll still have to either break it down or they'll have to breach it or whatever. Now there's somewhere else you could put one, but that would really be up to you. Maybe here. This wouldn't really probably do much besides slow them down for a bit. Okay, so that's quickly what I wanted to cover. You should have Bandit hanging out by this wall when it's reinforced so he can do the Bandit trick. You should have someone covering Bandit's back, especially because that wall won't be able to be fully reinforced. And then you should probably have 2 players playing in B and then a lurker upstairs or just wherever he is confident in getting kills. Alright, and I'll show you guys the next site. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to cover bar. So, first thing you want to do at bar is you want to make up holes between B and A. You do not want... This is very important because you do not... If you don't do this, there's only one way for you to get to B, and that's through this door. And if you don't, like, because if they take B and you only have one way to get in, you're fucked. You're gonna lose. Now, as far as what walls to reinforce, that wall, and that wall are all important. That's 6 reinforcements. Should probably get your drop down, although sometimes I can play out of that as a lurker and like shoot towards this window and things, so that's kind of optional. Those 6 are really the only ones that you need. It can also be good to have those so they can't come in that way through garage. They'll have to come through the door. So that's 8. I'd say those are the 8 you should get for sure. And then if you want to plug that drop down, it might be smart. It might also come in handy. So, and then when you're trying to hold this spot, you should probably have a lurker upstairs or downstairs, depending on where they're more comfortable. You should have a couple players around. You should probably have a player in B. You should probably have a player about here, and then you should have a player around pool and by bar, and that's your 5 players. Might also be smart to have your lurker over in the strip club. That way it prevents someone thermite breaching right there. Again, if they're downstairs or upstairs, they can prevent thermite breaches along these walls. Alright, now I quickly want to cover what to do about cash room. Now, cash room is, I'd say it's the hardest site in the game to hold, mainly because you have this unreinforceable drop down. You have a section of wall up there that can be destroyed even if you reinforce it and shot through, and then you have that window. So you have 3 places to cover, and you have almost no cover as a defender in this room. Now, you should be reinforcing that wall with your 2, even though you could make a murder hole, it still prevents them an entry point. You should be reinforcing that wall, and you should be reinforcing that wall. Now, it might be smart to just sit in cash room where you only have to worry about the window and the door. If you run out in a server, you're almost for sure gonna die. But again, I mean, you really shouldn't play this site unless it can't be avoided. Either you've won every other site in ranked, or that you're playing casual and it's randomly selected for you, because it's one of the worst sites in the game. I'm going to quickly run over to master bedroom and show you how to defend over there. Now, this is pretty bad. It is not as bad as cash room, but again, unless you have to play this site for some reason, I would not recommend it. You should reinforce this wall. You reinforce that wall, and you should reinforce this wall. Now again, that's going to be 6 reinforcements. I think that's 6. Yeah, that's 6. So you still have 4 left over. I don't know where else would be terribly useful to reinforce. You definitely don't want to reinforce the wall between your sites. And really this room's a bad spot because, again, the unreinforceable drop downs and then so many windows. Windows and drop downs are something that you cannot prevent attackers from breaching. Well, the drop downs you could normally, but you can't here. So having no sort of way to deal with locking up those windows and drop downs gives the attackers so many angles on you so early in the game that it's basically impossible to hold these sites. I hope you guys find this guide useful. Please leave a like if you did. If you want to see more of my guides, tips, commentaries, or gameplay in the future, please subscribe. If you want to game or chat with myself and other fans, the official Discord is in the description below. My social media links are also there, and if you really enjoy my content, I would appreciate you supporting me on Patreon. It helps me commit to doing this full time. Have a great one, everyone.